Bonjour, ladies and gentlemen. Hatbox here with another World of Warships Wednesdays. Today we're checking out the Mutsuki, the Tier 6 destroyer that comes after the Minekaze. They actually do look very, very similar in design, so you might confuse it with the Minekaze. Yeah. So today I'm just going to go over the basic stuff of it. Basically, concealment, very good, pretty much top tier with the Minekaze. Same spotting distance if you have everything maxed out. Maneuverability, I believe it is actually slightly faster and it is more mobile. And the reason for that is, as will come later. I will explain that in just a second. Oh, whoops, I'm looking at the wrong one. Yes, there we are. Has better AA defense, only slightly though, so don't expect to block a ton of aircraft fire. Torpedoes, you could take it two ways. The Minekaze used to be able to get a 10-kilometer range on its torpedoes, but the Mutsuki ended up inheriting that instead, and no longer does the Minekaze have that. It only has the 7-kilometer torpedoes. The Mutsuki has the choice of getting the 6-kilometer torpedoes, which travel faster, but in my opinion really suck and they drag this ship down, or you can get the 10-kilometer ones, which are surprisingly effective. You only get 2 tubes, though, as you can see, 2 center-mounted tubes, so you don't get to fire 3 barrages, but you do get 3 torpedo tubes per shot, which is very nice. So 6 tubes in the water, if you so please. I believe, yes, I hope. I hope I am right about this. I probably am not. Artillery, again, not the best. The more you upgrade the Mutsuki, the less guns it gets. However, the guns do get more powerful, and they reload a lot faster. You can do damage with this thing, but it's not going to be the greatest for your ship and defending it. American destroyers are a lot better for that. So, yeah. Survivability, a little bit higher than the Minekaze. However, that's just because of the extended torpedo range, as well as more hit points as to start, and slightly, ever so slightly, thicker armor, and that's about it. Alright, so I'm not going to go over signal flags because you should already know what you should have on that. It's up to you, really. It's all personal preference. As far as what the Minekaze leads into, sorry, not the Minekaze, the Mutsuki, it goes into the Tier 7 Hatsuharu. I have not had a chance to experiment with this, nor do I know anything about it, so yeah. However, the good thing about the Mutsuki at Tier 6 is you get an extra slot for an upgrade. This can end up helping you a lot, so I went with the Propulsion Modification 2, which gives you 50% faster time for reaching full power when accelerating forward, which is extremely useful for dodging torpedoes. Or just, you go to a stop in a smoke screen and you need to get out of there as soon as it falls off. I don't really do anything too strong. If you want to use premium consumables, you really are only going to do that if you want to make this one of your main ships. And I am starting to like the Mutsuki even more and more, so I might end up doing that. Just so you know, the Mutsuki has the commander's port at the front of the ship now instead of the back, so the driving stuff all up there. So if this gets hit, you will be knocked out as far as steering goes, or if you get hit in the very back, same thing with the engine, it's back there as well, so you might get taken out. Exterior, again, same old stuff. Oh god, the lag. Same old stuff with your signal flags. Camouflage, up to you, but I always go with the ones that Wargaming throws out at you. Type 5 camo. Negative 3% to detectability range by sea, and 4% to the maximum dispersion of shells fired by the enemy attacking your ship, which I don't know how the game calculates that, but yeah, what can you do? As far as your commander goes, your captain, I should say, pretty much the standard stuff. I made a mistake last video by saying that you need to go through a specific tree in order to progress on forward, but that is actually a lie. You can progress from the top tree and only upgrade one thing from the top tree, then go to the second tree, then go to the third tree. You don't need to go down in a line to get it perfect. So I can go from here and I can skip to this third one or this one over here in the aircraft section, but I would still recommend going with ship survivability, torpedo tube reload time, and same with the artillery if you want to go for that. It's really dependent on that for the export reloader. I would definitely go with Last Stand, which allows you to move after you've been incapacitated, only with a slight penalty. I would give you the third skill in the acquisition tree, 25% to acquisition range of torpedoes, which would then lead into the concealment expert, which is very, very well a must. It will give you that much more stealth, which is really necessary. As for the final skills, if you want to go with it, I recommend going with either the demolition expert, which gives you a 3% chance more of causing a fire on a ship with HE shells, which is very useful, or you can go with negative 50% to the risk of incapacitation of modules, if you want to do for that. So yeah, basically what a lot of people are saying is the Mutsuki is a slight downgrade to the Minekaze. The Minekaze has been seen as a pub stomper because you get 3 tubes of torpedoes, all of which for the tier it's at and below will kind of one-shot ships if all 3 connect. However, I beg to differ. I like the Mutsuki more, especially in ranked battles. Ranked battles are really fun in this because you get ranked against a single tier, so only tier 6, and there's a lot less people on the enemy team, which makes it a little bit easier to single out targets and all that stuff. I will explain, well, basically, in random battles, you have so many more people. When you're in a destroyer and you're trying to push up a flank with your team, the enemy team starts turning away, and it's not because they're avoiding torpedoes, it's because they're avoiding shots from your team, and it ends up messing up your aim. You can't reach them because they're too far away, and all that. With ranked battle, as far as the Mutsuki goes, you are pretty much controlling the front of the battle and defending your team from enemies pushing in to your defense, which is really interesting when you think about it. It ends up making it a lot easier to get torpedo hits, in my opinion. That, or people might be a little bit more oblivious to you, since there's usually only 1 or 2 destroyers per team. You always get ranked up with a similar number of ships, so 3 battleships versus 3 battleships, and so on. Anyways, you're going to see that in the upcoming battles. I have 3 for you, 2 little snippets of battles to show you how ranked battles kind of work, and then the final one will be the major thing. Anyways, guys, let's get on with it, and I'll show you to the battles. Alright, so here we are in the first battle on Neighbors. Pretty standard lineup. We got actually in a ranked battle with the Mutsuki, with 2 enemy carriers on the enemy team. So this first battle, I'm just going to show you snippets. We decided to go and cap the B point, because we decided there would be more cover. So you see here, enemies on the shoreline, or out in the distance, get spotted by the destroyer, and I'm like, well, I might as well fire at this little nerd on the left-hand side, see if they get some sweet torpedo hits. I stop here because I know there will be torpedoes coming around the island. Do not want to get hit by those. If you see an enemy destroyer, there's always going to be torpedoes aimed for you. Seems to be the common theme. So I decided to hug this island. And yeah, starting to capping the B point. No contestants right now, so we're getting pretty good. There is the torpedoes, like I said. I knew they were coming. And wow, would you look at that. That first salvo I fired off of my torpedoes actually hit that first target that I aimed for, although it only did 6,456 damage, and he, obviously did survive. He took a beating before that. Anyways, my torpedoes are about to reload here, so I come around the island, and I'm like, alright, well, I got lucky the first time, might as well fire at these 2. So I'm like, alright, torpedoes away, about to reload my second torpedo tubes, and I just fire off. A little bit later, those torpedoes look very promising, and there you go, 1 torpedo hit, about 10,000 damage there. I did quite a lot with that 1 barrage. That was actually only 1 torpedo hit, surprisingly, which was a lot. And then, of course, the other 2 do hit, and I am very fortunate there. In the chat, I'm like, what is this? Pretty crazy. So anyways, decided to go and cap A because it was pretty much uncontested the entire game. And this is the point where I'm like, alright, gotta go for that enemy carrier. He's gonna be nothing but trouble. Plus, there are no enemies around to pretty much shoot at me as I'm killing him. So, good deal. Of course, he puts up a bit of resistance. Here come his torpedo bombers. Should probably add in a light Euro B tier. That seems to be the meme for World Warships these days. So yeah, have my AA guns, don't hit a single shot off of those planes, but what can you do? Make a slight misplay here. I turn too sharp and then I end up getting hit in the butt. If I had just turned all the way and done a full circle, I would not have been hit. But obviously, what can you do? Put away the flooding as soon as possible, and then we continue on forth to take on this carrier. Looking around, seeing where he is. Oh, there he is. Spotted off in the distance. He's still going to put up some resistance to me. See his torpedo bomber, sorry, his dive bombers. I'll follow it along with his torpedo bombers, although a little bit late. So they're going to come on in, give me a little bit of trouble, but they miss all their shots. I turned off my AA because I wasn't going to hit anything. I should have turned it on so they would have had even less accuracy. That is alright. Here come the dive bombers. He's trying to predict my movement, however, I am a bit too fast of a machine for him. He thinks I'm going to come around the other side of the island, and he drops the torpedoes a little bit too early. Could have done it a little closer. A little mild Euro beat there. And successfully evaded. Taking some pot shots at him, trying to light him on fire. He drops another set of dive bombers on me. However, I get past those, barely shaving off any health. The last of my health. Another light Euro beat there. Way better dodged. He actually gets hit by these two torpedoes. And then all I have to do is take him out. I think we all know how this one will end. Good night, sweet prince. And that was the first round I played. That was actually the second set of game I played. Yeah. Anyways, now we're playing on with this next map. See an opportunity to take a couple pot shots at this guy over here. This Nuremberg, I believe it is. I can barely see. This is a very poor quality preview I have with me. I managed to finish him off. Those torpedoes I fired off just then, well, those are going to be important later for that New Mexico who's just sitting there. As, yeah, you can probably guess what's going on. He's gonna get hit. Let's see how many hits I get off on him before he, starts to move. 1, 2. 2 torpedo hits plus flooding. Yeah, probably should have been moving, buddy. I don't know what you were doing sitting there. It actually took him a minute to realize what was going on. Finally, start to move in here in just a second as soon as I pop out of smoke and spot him. I go to chase him down, however I am unlucky enough because he starts running away from me. Never fire torpedoes at running away targets as you will not hit them. They're just that far away. And look at that, enemy Mutsuki. I think we all know how this one's going to end up. I do end up taking a bit of a pounding here before we start our little duel from that New Mexico returning fire on me. It was a little salty that I hit him with torpedoes. See me fire off another salvo, take a hit, and I think we just gotta let this play out. I need your love, as I'm on fire. And I think we know how this one will end. Yep. Got outplayed there. He just barely dodged my last set of torpedoes. I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling Mutsuki. Honestly, I'm having a lot of fun with Mutsuki. However, those two battles were not the main highlight. It is this next one that is. Alright, here we are again. On the previous map, the first little set of videos. Like normal, communicating with your team, especially in ranked battles, it's very, very important that you do that. Communicate where you want to go, because if you don't stick together, you're all going to die. So we all pushed A. I got torpedoes out, however, they're not going to hit anybody. Poorly aimed on my part. just capping here, and I realize that I'm being contested because that cap meter is not going down. Or up, as I would say. I get detected here through the island because there's a little hole in there that you can get spotted by. Oh, enemy destroyer. Well, better start turning away from him because he has torpedoes in the water. There they are. And he's a Farragut, so he has way better guns than I do. I do not want to get into a gunnery duel with him. Fire off torpedoes to scare him off. I do not want to deal with him. And I take all but half my health down. Yeah, and pop smoke. I do not want to die. It would be terrible, because in ranked battles, if you die, that's a lot less chance that your team's going to win. Not much happens after this. I don't land any shots until I fire off this salvo of torpedoes right here. You'll see it in a second. Not a lot happened for me this game, except towards the end, so I had to skip a lot through this. So, boom. I see that New Mexico's coming around. Those torpedoes look promising. I get a singular hit off. Oh, I get 2 hits off. Very nice, very nice. He should know by now that I am here, obviously. But it seems that he does not. So he's going to get punished for that one. You can see me here waiting for him to come around the island. Trying to close that distance so he cannot dodge all of my torpedoes. However, it is not my torpedoes that are going to finish him off. It's actually the flooding damage that gets caused to him. See here, it takes a couple of hits. But it's the flooding damage overall that ends up taking him out. I fire a shot off. It does not reach him because the flooding damage obviously takes him out. Afterwards, I realize that on the northeast, we're getting attacked by 2 other New Mexicos. And I decide to go over and take him out. Or the northeast, I should say. So turn around. I'm like, alright, I gotta go protect my team up in the northeast. And we gotta go take him out really fast. That's kind of what you gotta do in ranked battles, especially in your destroyers. Defend your team at all costs. So I push really far up, as close as I can, just out of the detection range of that leftmost New Mexico. And I push up to the island. The reason why I do this is because I want to close that distance of the chance of them actually being able to maneuver and dodge my torpedoes. So you see me trying to look for a sneaky shot out here. I'm actually looking at my indicators, although the replay bug will not let you see them. I'm looking for chances to fire at that right New Mexico, but this left one is definitely a bigger threat to me. I want to take him out, and I do not want to be spotted by him. So I use my lead indicator, fire off a first salvo and a second salvo. Actually, I don't. I hold on to it there. So I want to see if this first one will hit. And then I realize, crap, I'm going to get spotted. Fire off my second salvo of torpedoes. And I pop smoke here. I do not want to get spotted whatsoever by either of these guys, because they will take me out. This New Mexico on the right, still pretty far off. I can take him. This New Mexico on the left takes 2 torpedo hits by me. He realizes that there's a destroyer here now, and he turns into the torpedoes to dodge the other 3. However, this guy, I don't know what he was thinking. But, yeah, have you ever heard that stereotype of big dumb battleship drivers? Well, I think you have your prime example here right now. I'm obviously still in this smoke. There's no way that I'm not. Yet he continuously drives and is focusing the enemy, or my friendly battleship, over on my left side from where the camera's facing. My torpedoes are reloaded. And I'm like, alright, if you're not going to move, dude, I'm going to take you out. Fire off 1 salvo. Realize that the enemy New Mexico on my right side was spotted. He's going to be coming up in any second now. I have no way of dodging him. I got to just take the hit of this and take him out. So I fire, get my torpedoes out. There's no way he's dodging these. My back torpedoes hit and kill the other New Mexico. And then these front 3 torpedoes end up hitting this New Mexico. However, I go down. He takes a bit of flooding damage before he repairs it. And that's pretty much it. I do end up dying here, but our team does secure the win because of the amount of damage I put into this New Mexico. Then you see in the chat that other New Mexico I took out complaining about his team being stupid and how they were whining the entire time, which I don't know if that was happening, but apparently it was. And in just a second here you'll see he complains about me being a hacker. I don't know what it is about people in these games, but you cannot hack World of Warships. It is literally impossible to hack in-game, as far as matches go. I was just using smoke to my advantage, but apparently that is a hack. Yeah, we secure the win on this one. I draw it out a little bit so you can see these guys complaining. So yeah, that was pretty much the battle. Yeah. Let's go to the post-results screen to show you guys how I did. Just did about 408 thousands credits, yes, and just shy of 100,000 damage at 10 torpedo hits, 3 flooding hits. Finished top of my team with 1,774 experience base. Very, very nice in a destroyer, especially in ranked battles. Interestingly enough, I got 530,000 potential damage, which is a ton, especially now that I get that included in my score. And there you go, 378,000 credits earned net, and 1 perk for my commander, which was very nice. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more. Comment what you think about this video. Au revoir, ladies and gentlemen. Au revoir.